Hello, welcome to this week's Primed Insight. I'm Craig, one of the field specialists. Today we're going to be talking about maintaining a safe work site. Generally, when a work site is outside of your yard, you need to ensure that the public is kept at bay. We find one of the most effective methods of doing this is to construct a cyclone fence. But within the work site itself, what do we do to protect ourselves? Today we're going to be talking about 4 different systems. Number 1, containment solutions. Number 2, protecting the breathing air that your operators are using. Number 3, making sure that the equipment is laid out safely and correctly. And number 4, ensuring that any visitors are managed. The first aspect we want to talk about is the use of containment. This is generally a wrap sheet that we will allow ourselves to put around the structure. This makes sure that we can work inside the structure, creating pollution and dust in that environment without affecting the outside world. Of course, to do that, we need to make sure that this containment system, made from containment sheeting, is in a very rigid and well-fixed state. This allows the dust collector or the ventilation fans that are extracting the dusty air to work safely. The second part of our Primed Insight today is to talk about operator safety. This is making sure that your workers are protected. Most of the time, the operators will require a breathing supply system. Generally, this breathing air comes from a compressor. The compressor uses oil as part of its lubrication system. Sometimes this oil can inadvertently make its way to the operator. There's a number of filters in place to ensure that this doesn't happen, but there's also a number of gases that can be inhaled through the compressor, such as carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. These two can make their way to the operator and are very unsafe. Carbon monoxide is a silent killer. It has the ability within 2 minutes to turn your respiratory system involuntary shutdown. What we do now is we supply a carbon monoxide alarm system called the GX4 monitor. This monitors the breathing air supply and ensures that at any time, should the set levels be exceeded, that you and your operators receive a warning. Another aspect to how we manage projects is where we place our equipment. No doubt we've all felt the frustration of not having enough real estate to place our equipment in. Things like dust collectors, mega blasters, vacuum recovery systems for the abrasive, and even where to park your vehicles can be often a problem. We're going to talk about how to safely lay out your area. BlastOne provide one of these illustrations that shows the correct layout of a project site. You'll be able to see the containment, fenced off areas, and the way in which your equipment's laid out safely. Not only does this allow for a productive and safe environment, but it also ensures that should emergency services be required, they can get easy access to your area. The last part about today's Primed Insight is to talk about visitors on a project. Why would they be there? Well, often the fact is that we've got inspectors for quality assurance. No doubt we've got a visitor from the Environmental Protection Authority to make sure that our dust levels and noise levels are within the requirements. One of the most important things about a visitor accessing the site is that they register at the sign-in desk. This ensures that they are aware of the site requirements, any PPE that may be required. In some coatings and some abrasive removal projects, we find that the coatings that we're taking off the surface may contain certain hazardous elements. It's highly important to make your visitors aware of this and ensure that they have the correct PPE. Things like overalls, gloves, possibly a respiratory system, and some form of eyesight protection. This makes sure that your site is always safe and that your visitors leave as happy as they entered. Thanks for watching this week's Insight.